Hey.
Exciting stuff coming up. I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to fix your call to actions and headlines.
It's the Independence Day special. I'm going to show
Yeah.
you guys how to
Whoa!
do red, white,
Let's
and
go!
blue.
Oh, there you go. You got your mullet. And then we'll be talking about house cleaning, right? House cleaning in San Diego.
House cleaning.
Right, and of course, we'll be going through our surprise videos. And so let's get the show started.
Oh, it's dance time. Let's dance.
Hey, GBP roast, GBP roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP roast, GBP roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO, JP, Lambo, and Dre, bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.
Why exactly am I wearing a moo-moo in that promo? What was I thinking?
I don't know.
I'm out of smoke, and I need to refill my smoke machine here. All right, guys, let's get into our first reaction video.
Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your law firm's website has just lost 40% of his traffic.
So much here, the great decoupling, right? The biggest thing here is how the traffic's being attributed, because look, every platform wants to keep the user engaged on their platform. It looks like a bloodbath. I mean, if you're an SEO specialist and you're reporting on impressions and clicks, it's nasty. But if you're trying to get deeper in the value chain and talking about cases and conversions, it's not as nasty as it looks.
So how are you guys reporting to your folks? And
biggest thing for at least for me is just it's all about phone calls. I mean, I don't really care about, at the end of the day, if we're offering a one package for digital marketing, even if it's just SEO, that's all they care about. Like, is your phone ringing? Are you getting lead forms? Things like that.
Lambo, it's about the conversions, kids.
Yeah, no, this is something that I was explaining to a couple of my local clients, where clicks are actually, traffic's going down, however calls are going up. So it's like, hey, well, I mean, it's just about the Google algorithm there, but I mean, you don't have to worry about your clicks to your website, but you're getting more calls. Like, it literally, the calls actually shot up while the clicks went down. So it's like, I'm like, dude, where you're still getting the business.
But that's why it's important too, because when we talk about, like, everyone's like, well, I need the rank in the 3-pack, and I've been asking this question for the last 4 years. What 3-pack are you talking about? And they're like, what do you mean the 3-pack? I said no, because if you look at a proximity, there's 50 3-packs, because users are seeing things differently over here. So just because you're not ranking from your house and you're in downtown San Francisco, it's like, I
need the near me.
Near me. It's all about phone calls. That's your ultimate conversion point, is getting the lead.
Yep. All right, let's check out reaction video number 2.
If you're not doing this already, you should jump on it right away. Turn your Google My Business events into local SEO traffic. You're ignoring the events tab in your Google My Business profile, but your smarter competitor just hijacked your local area. So the events section in Google My Business isn't just about posting about concerts. They're actually ranking machine. It's just that no one's really doing it properly. Did you know that Google actually features all of these in Discover, Maps, and things to do nearby? If you're not posting hyper-local promos, workshops, or even seasonal offerings, you're actually invisible to local intent spikes.
Okay, there's some extreme exaggeration with all the extra adjectives and little bullshit that he's thrown in there. I will say, if you will post, we're not a big fan of posts, but it does keep things active. And yes, Darren Shaw was right. But events are one of those items that have in the past got indexed and they stick around. But this is where you're going to have to be a little bit of black hat, okay? You're going to have to mark that event, not for the 3-day weekend. You need it for 3 months. You need it out there for a long time.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, I mean, unless it's something that's worthy. I mean, a lot of the niches that I'm in, you're probably not going to have an announcement or an event for a plumber or a contractor unless you're doing some type of big grand opening of something. But it's just extra work. It's extra stuff that I don't personally see there's a need for, at least the niches that I'm in.
And what you can, it's a little bit of baloney, right? Instead of a 3-day sale, it's a 3-month sale.
Yeah.
That's the way I would do it, and turn the sale into an event, and then post it like it's a sale, so you get the combo, the combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking this actually works out for one of my clients because they're a cruise line and they do like holiday specials. So should I actually span it out like maybe a month and a half, like in June, schedule the special starting in June for July 4th special, and like ends in July 4. So it kind of
Yeah, because the sales start early, right? Like, you know, even like in our industry, like we're going to an event, right? A digital marketing event, they start selling like months in advance. So I would do the same thing.
Yeah. All right.
Especially if you have that offer and you have that window, because that's really what you're saying is, as I mentioned, just make it like a promotional, like a promo, but post it as an event and then just put the start date and the end date. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. This last reaction video is a little long-winded. It's still under a minute, but it's someone's strategy for any service company. Let's check it out.
Let's go. Come on. Give me some
If I was
more.
a service business owner who only had 5 hours to do my own SEO, here's exactly what I would do to rank at the top of Google. Step number 1 is to set up a review campaign that targets all your past and current customers asking for a positive review. Step number 2 is to go to your local college campus and offer free donuts in exchange for a free Google review. I only recommend getting 5 or 10 per week max. Step number 3 is to plug in your business information, name, address, and phone number into a citation provider or service, and then they'll actually start setting up 10 to 15 profiles in local business directories for you every single week. Step number 4 is to post 2 to 3 times a week on your Google business profile or your Google listing. On those posts, make sure to geotag the photos and use a call now button. Step number 5 is to sponsor your local Little League team so you can actually get a free backlink from their website. Backlinks are links from other websites that point to your website, and it shows Google's algorithm that you're a trustworthy business.
You might be a red flag SEO if you're handing out donuts at the college campus asking for fucking reviews. No, don't do that.
I mean, I got handed off for creativity, I guess.
He was so
Here,
serious.
and people say, well, why?
I know he was
Why?
dead serious, but do not do that.
You want a real engaged person who went to Home Depot, went to the paint store, did driving directions, went to your gallery, went to your map. They're in market, okay? That is a technical marketing word, in market, meaning they're active. There's a cache memory of all of their activities. And that review is what you want.
And also too, it wouldn't be as effective as you think it would be, because if you have 30 students that are all leaving reviews from the same area, that's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Unless it's a restaurant and they're leaving the review like at the restaurant or
or the bar, or the club, or where they're selling pot down the street. Look at me. I'm talking like a boomer. They're selling pot.
I think that dude was an AI avatar, so I think he's full of shit.
No, I mean, I was actually kind of looking closely at the lips too, just making sure.
I don't
I've
know.
run across a lot of those.
Pretty good. I could be too.
I've been running across a lot of AI videos now, like especially these shorts. Like I'm like, man, you're not even talking.
If you look close enough, you can see a little blur like around like one of their upper lip or lower lip.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't do that. The first part he said about like reaching out to past clients, like 100%.
Yes.
That's
a good thing.
But the other stuff, go to schemasucks.net.
There you go. All right, let's go on to our next section.
Toasty.
All right, we are mixing it up a little bit. So let me go ahead and share my handy dandy screen.
If you are a house cleaning company, we just thought we would just get right into it and kind of combine some of the tech
this
talk.
is for local SEO for a house cleaning business. So this was one that came in. This is for house cleaning in San Diego. Pretty competitive market. San Diego's a pretty big city. It covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
So just kind of looking at the market real quickly. You'll notice a lot of brands are putting like San Diego in the company name.
Mm-hmm. Well, that one, number 2 one, did it? Number 2 one?
Sparkly.
This one,
Aloha.
I think this one might. I'll have to look at that one more.
LA made.
So
But
quite
that's
a
all
few of
good
them
too, you know,
are actually showing up.
yeah. From a branding point of view, you know, even like an LA made or, you know, LA combination, that's that whole Southern California feel, because someone just might have moved from, let's say, Anaheim down to San Diego, and it makes that connection.
Yeah. So again, quite a few. It's pretty competitive. You're gonna find quite a few. A lot of these have a decent amount of reviews, but like I would say probably close to 80% of the first 20 results of these businesses all have San Diego in the name. So unfortunately, this is kind of one of those examples where if you don't have San Diego or at least have house cleaning in the company name, you're going to be struggling, because business name is one of the biggest relevance factors for ranking on maps. The business that we're actually roasting today is called Presto Cleaning. They don't have, obviously, those names in their business name, or excuse me, those words in their business name. That would be something that you may want to consider. You can just go down to San Diego County Clerk's office, get a DBA. It could be just Presto House Cleaning or Presto House Cleaning of San Diego or something like that. Considering of where they're at, I mean, they're considerably pretty close to downtown in comparison to quite a few of the other results. A lot of the companies aren't actually close to downtown, but they're still ranking really well. And a lot of that is mainly because of kind of the overall authority of the site, and just because of even having San Diego in the business name alone. So if you look at Presto too, this is a cool little tool called Pleer. We've covered this quite a few episodes, but it's a great tool to kind of get an overall analysis of what is going on with your listing, your competitors. It's got this little KGID here. If we click on this, we take a look at our branding, and it's what's really showing up on the SERPs. This is great because it's, if you type in Presto Cleaning, this is the type of thing that you should be seeing in the results. And the reason why is because when we look at building a business on Google online, we really want to focus on having something unique. So let's say you're a brand new house cleaning company, you haven't even opened up shop yet, you know, choosing your business name definitely makes a huge difference, because Google, even in their quality guidelines, their algorithm guidelines, they do look for uniqueness in a brand. So if you type in Presto Cleaning, you don't really see a lot of results, even across the country. That's a pretty good sign. I would go with that business name.
Yeah, it's household stuff. It's like pulling Amazon.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff here. Like, so I mean, they have, looks like some Amazon, like Presto's a product. But those are the types of things that you should be seeing. If we do like a phone number search, that also determines to see what types of branding we have, like through citations, social properties, and things like that. They got their Yelp there. They're on some other, looks like some other third-party sites, some citations. Best of local reviews. This is a good one too. A lot of people talk about just getting citations alone, but really focus on getting onto directories that allow consumers to also leave reviews. So even places like
Yelp,
Yellow Pages, Yelp, things like that. A test that we've been doing recently, we actually use a service through Yext, which is basically, they just a huge distributor to get onto major citation sites. They actually will even push into Apple Maps. And we actually have been able to index our Apple Maps listing directly on Google. So to me, that's a huge tool to think about, because Apple Maps, 50% of cell phone users are using an iPhone. So
yeah, I just got 2 more this morning when we were
you know when you
chatting.
say create a DBA, you're not necessarily telling the people to change their name or anything like that, right? That's
No,
just
so what a DBA is, it's a fictitious business name. It's doing business as. It just allows you to say that, hey, you're an ABC company, but you're also doing business as, Presto Cleaning. So this is super important too, because if your name was just ABC Company Inc., but you're a house cleaning company, you could go get that DBA, file it with the local clerk's office.
Right. Extremely important. Let's say you started with Jack's Cleaning Company, and that is your LLC, and that's what you're officially, you know, paying taxes to U.S. Uncle Sam.
Mhm.
But you learn from Uncle Lambo and Professor Jordan that, wait, I need a DBA and change my name. Now, obviously, that will totally affect your branding, right? Your site, etc. But that's the whole idea, is that you can have a umbrella type corporation, but then you can actually have the what is your brand sort of on the street, what people know you by.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I kind of meant too. Like, do you necessarily have to change your full branding? Because can their
Right.
uniforms?
No,
still say
it's
Presto
just you have
Cleaning,
your main
then-
incorporation, whether it be an Inc. Or an LLC, LLP, whatever the directive is, and then you can literally just go down to the San Diego clerk's office. That costs like $20 to $30. You just say, hey, here's the name of my business, here's the registration number, and you say, I want to file a couple of DBAs.
But
You
they
could
don't-
even say, like, I'm Presto Commercial Cleaning, set up a completely different brand under Presto Commercial Cleaning that targets commercial cleaning, for example. That would be another thing that you could do. So you could have these multiple like sub brands, sub companies that are underneath your main umbrella company.
But for logo wise, you can still have your main logo, right? You don't necessarily
Well,
need
Well,
I
it
would
depends
still
on what
really-
you're doing. I mean, if you're going to be
I-
Presto Cleaning and you're going to be using, like, everything needs to really reflect what it is. So
But-
that
Yeah.
could even be you may need to go get like another domain. It depends on kind of where you're at in your branding journey.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you go as far as-
Being unique and having the magic wand connected to Presto, right? The magicians of cleaning, that is what people are really going to remember you as, rather than your Umbrella Inc. LLC name. So
Yep.
it's really being more important to be memorable, and you really have to think like Wall Street in these corporate companies, whether you use a pet, a mascot, a color, a shape. You know, Presto's on the right track here. They just, you know, they just need a few more things to improve upon.
Yep. Better Business Bureau, not my favorite company in how they do run their business. However, they are an extremely highly trusted source.
Highly trusted.
So you definitely want to get a Better Business Bureau. Yext actually will submit to Better Business Bureau for free, so you don't have to worry about getting like certified or whatever it is that they offer. I thought this was kind of interesting on the listing. Yeah, I don't really use Post, but it's interesting that they use like a review, like, hey, check out this new review that we got. And then they have some different promotions here. So if I was going to be doing posts, I mean, these are kind of interesting to see, how they're doing this.
Oh, they're using reviews as their
They're using reviews as their posts, like, hey,
Ah.
check out our new review.
Hey.
It's
And then they do have all their social
okay.
properties on here. Kind of next going in, there's still quite a few things I would do. I mean, and that's kind of jumping into their website. And I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to Mr. Lambo.
Oh, I like that
Mr.
tactic.
Lambo.
Their website's decent, but they're missing a lot of elements because they're using their homepage with their Google Business. There's a lot of things that they need to focus on.
You know, kids, what I love to go into, of course, is let's just look at some of the raw data on some of the headings. So if you're an SEO, you're laughing right now and you just shit your pants because you're like, that's the title. One of the reasons why they might even be ranking for home cleaning is they have the word home. I hear you, Dre, laughing. Okay, gosh. By accident, right? Because it's the home page, right?
Yeah.
No, come on. This needs to say house cleaning, San Diego, sons of bitches. That's what that needs to say, okay? Definitely you want to expand on your description as well. There has been some chatter. I haven't really fully followed up, but that descriptions are being connected into the Gemini LLM as well as ChatGPT. If I have trained all of you folks, you really want that to really feel like an ad, right? Your free offer, what makes you special, what makes you unique. There is no H1 at all. We definitely would want to tie that in again and match that title, very something similar. But if you notice, all of this is all very generic. They don't really utilize what are some of the entities and synonyms related to house cleaning, right? We should have deep cleaning. We should say maid service. We should say pet hair removal. Do we say any of that? Womp, womp, womp. We do finally say San Diego cleaning service, but that's an area that you definitely want to improve upon. This is just, it hasn't really been touched from a true SEO point of view. Yes, some will counter and say, well, you are using the H3s. I really love to relabel these as H2s and then also get them up higher on the DOM. So one thing I had noticed, and I actually asked ChatGPT because you can give it the domain, and I'm like, hey, what are some of the unique features about the site? But it didn't really find what I was looking for. It didn't come out with any great information. But I did find this information on a worry-free guarantee. And lo and behold, right here, this is some awesome information. Let me zoom in. If you're not satisfied, let us know within 24 hours and we will re-clean it for free. You're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Why are you not screaming that, right next to your CRO with your call to action and your headlines? That's a really great competitive advantage. So what I decided to do is I jumped over to ChatGPT. Oh, wrong one. There we go. And I just said, hey, Mr. GBT, help me create, and what I'll do is I'll put this right down into the comment section in the descriptions below so you guys can just use it for your own, whether you want to use it on Gemini or Claude or wherever. But I just asked it, what's a call to action with a website banner where the main benefit for this cleaning company is, and I just copied and pasted that difference. And here, GBT came right back and said, boom, spotless satisfaction guarantee. Not happy with your last clean? Let us know. Woo! Hallelujah! What do you do with something like that, Lambo? You take that puppy and you can just work it in, like right here, right? Here they're talking about Father's Day. They're a little bit behind. You definitely would want to open with something like that up here. Can you imagine how much more compelling that would be? So the great thing with ChatGPT is it gives you ideas, right? And it even expands on some of it now of book now, get it free, etc. So you please understand, ChatGPT can be delusional. It will make up shit, okay? So you have to double check. But I, the human, I found what made them unique, and then I just asked GPT for some ideas. Cool! You figured it out!
See, but that's one thing that's cool too, is like when you have, again, going back to the uniqueness of a brand, if you're the only company that offers that type of service, if you look at like AI mode and AI overviews, Google's pulling a lot of these things into their AI search to say, hey, by the way, if you look at, this company, they do offer this service. So maybe it's something that's unique that you actually are looking for. There's a special type of service, for when it comes to house cleaning. Google is summarizing little like bullet points of, what are things that makes this company unique. This company's got 5-star service. This company offers unique style of cleaning. So if you look at AI mode and AI overviews, they're actually giving you these little hints of what they're actually pulling in from. So
especially off of that headline.
Yeah.
That specific, it's coded H1 or it's an H2, or it could be even in the title, right?
Yeah.
Free, guarantee, 24-hour. Those will be the unique attributes that the AI will pick up on.
Yep.
So kind of jumping into AI too, just I want to share this is since we did a quick search. So this is actually pulled in from AI mode. So this is house cleaners in San Diego. One thing to point, this company is not in here. So super important. You got to focus on your overall messaging, your branding and things like that to get into AI mode. So you'll see like they have, you know, top-notch house cleaning services, including deep cleaning, 4.9 stars. So, you know, look for different things like the messaging. Maybe there's things that you could probably even implement onto your website. Maybe kind of taking some summaries of what some of these other companies offering, if you do offer some of these, and finding ways to incorporate that into your brand. But also something that sets you apart as well. I mean,
Oh
Google's
yeah,
giving you a lot of hints
totally.
of what they're looking for.
Totally, they could benefit from that. It's free. You know, you contact us within 24 hours.
Yep. This is another big one too. If you see these little tabs, prices, open now, online estimates, top rated, affordable, like these are things that you can start putting into some of the messaging into your site.
Headlines.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to show an example of things that you can do with an actual site. This is kind of like a parody brand that I created a couple of days ago.
What?
But it's a way for you, because I'm using this example because one parody they used parody, excuse me. The brand that we were going over, they're actually using their homepage, Presto. They're using their homepage on their Google business, which is okay, but there's some pros and cons to using your homepage if you're looking for expansion growth. Let's say they're moving from San Diego to Los Angeles, or even to another state, they're opening up another location. It's going to be a little bit tougher to kind of move things off of the homepage because they're using that in San Diego. Whereas if they're looking to move into Dallas and, you know, and New York and Miami and to other markets, you know, they're going to have to kind of restructure the homepage being kind of the overall brand.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind when you're looking at putting all the authority into your homepage. You know, you're probably only be looking for focusing in that particular market.
In the Trident community, we would then give you a specific page just for San Diego. And then you tie that into your GBP, right, as that website URL. Then if you expand to Anaheim, you expand to Palm Springs, you're not stuck with all the branding for San Diego to the homepage.
Yep. So this is a brand I created, Mrs. Doubtfire. You all know the famous movie from Mrs. Doubtfire. Full disclaimer. I gotta give you a full disclaimer. You know, for the YouTube algorithm, for anyone who's showing up here, this is a parody website from the beloved film Mrs. Doubtfire.
Well, hello, dear. Making the home sparkle.
That's right. So again, it's messaging, you know, things that are making you unique, a little bit, some staff that you can show, you know, professional house cleaning with a personal touch. This is kind of those little taglines that that Keith Lambo mentions. A clean house is a happy house, dear. So just kind of some little funny humor, something that makes it a little bit more unique.
Nice.
You have your call to actions, get a quote, click the call for phone numbers. And again, going over, this is what we offer, you know, regular house cleaning, deep cleaning, move in and move out specials. Overall messaging, kind of, you know, digging in a little bit deeper, you know, as far as what do you offer when it comes to residential cleaning, specialized cleaning, and then
right.
your
And look at all of those are all different combinations of search terms, right?
Yes.
That they want a vacation or office or senior. And it's not super busy on the page. People will just zoom, they'll scroll down, they see what they want, and they go right to it.
And Google just had a big algorithm update that came out. Now they're processing for your pages, you know, they're doing it a lot quicker, a lot more efficiently. So this it could be kind of something where we, you know, when I started, we used to just build like 5-page sites. It was like your main homepage, you had like an about us, contact us, things like that. So, you know, those things, depending on kind of what's happening, you know, doing those mass page sites like we used to before, where we create a separate page for a city and the service and then all the sub, like, you know, I think it's eventually going to kind of move away from that. So, you know, create a page where you can do that. You can offer all the services that you offer, and this is attached to your Google business, because your website is a huge factor in supporting your Google business and how you're ranking. So these are all additional key terms that you're putting in there. Also your service area, you know, you're listing every single area that's within San Francisco. You know, maybe these are actual neighborhoods in San Francisco, you know, additional cities, other areas outside of the area. You know, this is another thing that I've actually been incorporating into a lot of our websites, is just kind of your overall process. Like, how do you work as a company? Like, if someone comes on board, like what's happening when they first come on? You know, you have your preparation, deep cleaning, quality checks. So you're kind of giving them, you know, steps that how you work as a company.
Right. Exactly. What can I expect? How does
Yep.
it work? How does the process work?
Yeah. And then you have obviously, your important things, it just kind of gives you that little extra edge and security for the consumer. Of course, your license is insured, but we're taught that we need to look for these types of things as consumers. So yeah, hopefully your house cleaning company, you're licensed and insured, but it's people like seeing that still.
People will buy based on emotion, even
Yes.
though you can give them some facts, right? But they're going to buy because of maybe you're giving back to the community, you're doing green cleaning, you're doing something special that other people don't do. And
Yep.
that's what separates you, because really think about it. It doesn't take a lot to do house cleaning or any kind of commercial janitorial work, right? Like, you got to think outside the box, and you have to be different and special so that Google picks up on that.
Obviously, like eco-friendly background checks. I like this one too. I put pricing on a lot of our sites. Be transparent. It's not about being honest. It's about being transparent. Consumers want to know kind of what they can expect when they do business with you. Lambo showed you guys an example. Like he showed up in the snippet for, prices in Idaho for one of his clients. And then just a little something about the company, kind of how you work, a picture of the staff,
Hello,
you've been in
dear.
business. This was a fun brand to make. Some reviews, things that will
Oh,
pop
is it
up here.
drive-by fruiting? What happened?
That's right.
They had a giant party was there some animal that was at the party? Was there an elephant?
Yeah,
in
a
the
bunch of
street? What
animals,
was
like
that?
farm animals. Yeah. Then you have your contact information, how they can get a hold of you, and then again, this is really, you want to be able to encompass as much information as you can when it relates to your business profile.
Yeah, super important.
Nice. Love
Don't
it.
forget, guys,
Yep.
you love our advice. You love what we
Yep.
say, do. Give us a like. And if you have questions, comment down below. We are always checking in every day, and we will happy to continue the conversation and assist you. Plus, if you have a site that you want us to roast, send it over to us, because I think even eventually we're going to have some really special offers for you guys.
Yep.
There you go. And we saw Calling Larry's saying that he's going to check out Trident. And any
do
other updates that you guys got going on? before we go?
So when it comes to the Trident, you have to reach out to us. We did close it down publicly, but we may still have a couple spots open. Reach out to Keith or myself, and we'll make sure, in one way or another, that we get you in there.
There you go. And be sure to catch me on Friday at the SEO video show at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until next week.
Nice.
We'll see you guys next week.
Next week?
Right? All right. Let's see here. Where's our little
Hey, GBP roast, GBP roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP roast, GBP roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO, JP, Lambo, and Dre, bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.